And it's Friday, December 11th. I've got my good friend Tim Lord here in the house. Hello, Tim.
Hey, Sean, how are you?
I am doing great. How about you?
It's unfair how good I'm doing.
Awesome. So here, let me throw your company name up real quick so everyone knows that, and we begin there. So Tim Lord with Boston Impressions was my first guest on Litvak Leadership Live. For those of you who were here on day one or have gone back and looked at day one, you'll recall we had incredible audio issues because we were doing this on Facebook Live with the phone held sideways so we could be like this, and everything was echoing. And a week later, I got StreamYard. And it's never been the same ever since.
You've come along. You've come a long way. You didn't have a brand. You didn't have your amazing graphic designer who does all the beautiful posts for you, and you didn't have a software run by a bunch of chipmunks in the back that made me sound bad. So no, you've done good.
Yeah. So it's a different world altogether, and I'm so excited because in that first interview, I was emulating one of my friends. Who does this, the one and only Eric Bam, and everyone's got their own style, and my style has changed a little bit since then. I'm not going to ask you your favorite cream cheese steak, because that's like something Eric would ask, and that's all good. Okay, we got the one and only Kim Hubbs here joining us.
Hi, Kim. How are you?
And of course, Kenny Mayberry, best pizza in Louisville, Annie's Pizza. So Tim is an expert on branding, inbound marketing, and web development. So the first thing I want to ask you is, how do you get people to call you up?
Wow. That's really good. I mean, if anyone let me just say this. I don't know how much of an expert it is. I've been doing it for a long time, so I guess maybe over attrition. Hey, Sean, how are you? Anyone who can tell you that they 100% can get your phone to ring through your website traffic is absolutely lying to you. It is a process. It is spending money on social. It is SEO content. It is the amount of content. It's video. It's a strategy. So if anyone says get HubSpot, get SharpSpring, get Keep, get any of these tools, and all of a sudden your phone will start ringing, it's not true.
So today I saw an ad, one of the thousands of ads on, I don't know, it was either Facebook or YouTube or somewhere. And I think it was someone on LinkedIn who actually reached out to me. He first connected with me and then started pummeling me to buy something. So I'm going to give him 15 minutes of my life because he sent me a video that said that if he has a system, he has a program that when people go to your website, you get their name, phone number, and email address. I want to hear him lie to me because how can you collect all that information from people just showing up at your website?
Sure. Now, so I'll give you an example. We were an early adapter to a software called SharpSpring. We're talking about maybe, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago. And they're a tool that, much like HubSpot, is set up for the agency world. So they have a piece of code that you can put on your site, and it's called Visitor ID. And so if you've ever visited the site before or raised your hand in any way through an offer or anything like that, it has captured your IP address. And now through this tool, they can go back through the website and say, Sean came to this page about this widget, so he must be interested in this widget, and he spent this amount of time on this page looking at this product. And so then we can take that information and then start marketing to you. So it's possible.
So you're telling me when I put up Litvak Leadership Live, if I were to get some software, or subscribe to some service, when people just show up on the website and click and say, who is this guy with those dashing dark glasses click, it'll tell me their name, their email address, and their phone number.
Well, I am jealous of your non-reflective glasses, clearly, but not always.
Okay.
You know, with this tool that I know about, again, hey Kim, yeah, their CRM is pretty good at SharpSpring. So not always, but you will see an IP address. So if you hold on to that, and it will remember that IP address. And again, as soon as they engage in any way, even if it's 2 years down the road that you send them an ebook or a case study or something like that, it'll automatically remember that IP address that that person was tied to and go back and populate all of the information of their habits. So, you know, it's been a couple of years since we've used them. We've moved on to other tools to support our clients because there were list issues. And, you know, that's another thing. If you're using any of these tools, you got to make sure that your email lists are opt-in only and that customers aren't buying them. You know, we were lied to by a client that said that they had 8,000 opt-in addresses. What turns out that they had gone to a source like discover.org and downloaded them all. And so then we sent out this, it was COVID. It was right when COVID started. We sent out this blast to all of their lists, 300,000 something names. And they assured me all of these were cultivated through trade shows, through on and on and on. And it was a lie. And so their stuff started bouncing, and the spam and the unsubscribe. And so eventually SharpSpring took that client down. They wouldn't allow me to send to them. So there are some rules.
And what happens is, you know, I mean, I'm not a technical expert when it comes to this, but your server ends up getting branded as a spam site. And then you can't send to anybody.
It's hard to come back from. It really is. And then there's other things, you know, Outlook. You know, a lot of these tools don't play well with Outlook. Outlook is the bane of my existence because, you know, graphically, it doesn't really work well because Outlook is built off of a Word platform. So yeah, there's a lot of ins and outs. So the person that you're speaking to isn't really lying to you. There are tools out there that can help capture some of the things that people are looking at, including their name and email addresses, because it's happened to us. And you can use them. I can't recall a time that someone said, "Oh my God, I'm glad you found me. I only went to your site once or twice, and I can't believe that you intuitively called me back." That doesn't happen a lot, you know. Through our pay-per-clicks, you know, which we programs that we do for a lot of clients. You know, we put a pixel on their website or in their WooCommerce when people are checking out. We can then tell from the ad that they visited that we created to that checkout, whether they came through the advertisement that we put out. So there's a lot of analytics. You know, I'm more of on the creative side. Old school print guy is where we started. And some of these long reports, as much as they are necessary to validate the money that people are spending, are sometimes kind of tedious.
So let's talk about some of the creative stuff. Obviously, there's video, where it's live like this. Then there's video a la Shay Rowbottom. You're familiar with her?
No.
Okay, so Shay does like highly edited. She'll like video herself doing all kinds of stuff, and then she'll go in and take out every single or whatever.
Sure.
Okay. So it's like a tiny, she'll say something clearly, and then she'll like be like, and money will be falling from the sky. And she's got all this, you know, graphics talking, you know, thrown in, and there's all the words on underneath and everything. So it's highly edited stuff. And then, you know, and it's funny. I thought that was super unique. And then I've seen that her people tried to get me to sign up for her boot camp a la Jeffrey Gitomer. And now I'm seeing all these people with the same kind of video as her, so it's boring to me.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry.
What happened with all that then?
Well, you know, and I think everyone in our Megamind group and Eric has been preaching to us, you know, and the universe since we started, the video is the way to go. You know, whether it be live like this or edited, it's good content as long as it's good content. You know,
Yeah.
so but a lot of these tools and these courses and things like that, you can learn a lot of them on your own. I mean, look at you. You know, you're running your own show here on a daily basis. And what is number 65 or 64 we were talking about?
You are number 65. Woo!
Right. So yeah,
number 1 and number 65.
Number 1 and number 65 in your heart. I love it. Yeah, you gotta expand. You gotta take some time and learn these tools. Unless you've got an unlimited budget and you want to hire an agency or a graphic person to do those things. You know, we do a lot of ad spend for a lot of clients, and stories on Instagram, stories on Facebook, use of GIFs in ads so that shows motion.
Okay.
Is really where where you'll get your most engagement. It's proven.
So the thing, if I wanted, because, there's a lot of people doing side hustles now. Okay. Yep. And a lot of people like me springing up doing video, and we want to promote ourselves. Yep. How do you recommend doing that to turn the side hustle into the hustle?
Well, you got to.
Is it all about the GIF?
Well, you got to get attention,
right.
You got to get engaged. There's no magic pill. I mean, there's no magic bullet. You look at some of the people that are engaged with us, that we're engaged with, the Melanie Springs of the world, the Joe Sotos, the Brent Tillmans. Look at people that are doing it successfully and I like to say with class, and mimic them. They're sending out all kinds of great emails with content, downloadable content. They are doing lives. They're doing scheduled shows with valuable guests, and they're building a reputation. And you think about it, Jeff Gitomer did it with his books before the internet was, the thing. And so if you follow him, you'll know that he started off just writing a column in a daily newspaper, and he built a following. Yeah. So if you want to take that and put it on steroids, that's what's going to happen here. You're going to build a following. You're going to find places. You're going to be like our friends that have published books. You're going to promote your books. You're going to go learn how to give a TED Talk through Melanie. And when the world goes back to the way it used to be, think about how far we've come since March. Since March.
Since March.
You weren't doing a live. I wasn't doing a live. I've got, I have a small little thing that we do, coffee at the BI Diner. Not, as I like to say, often talked about, never seen. But we have the Penalty Box Live, which is a show that I do with Eric Bam every Tuesday. And it's a lot of fun, but it's not making me any money, and I don't plan on it making me any money in the near future. So we have to get up every day, and we have to do what we do best. And that is this: put the customer first, put your employees second, and put you third. You win those ways.
It is, unbelievable, the growth that I've seen, not only in our mastermind group, but then the ancillary people who come to our lives and that we have touched in the process. I mean, I look at people like, well, I'm just going to use them as the example, Kenny Mayberry, doing so much for his pizza establishments, his pizza restaurants. He's taken it to another level. So okay, inbound marketing is real yet a lie. What about branding? So what do you recommend when someone is looking at creating their brand? I got my logo going on here. You'll notice the logo's the same color as the bottom because we're using the color number. My graphic person taught me that. Yep. What do you think would be the steps of branding for people starting out?
Well, much like everyone who's writing a book, you've written a book. I think everyone has a book in them. Your brand is a story. It's a story about what you offer. It's not just a logo. I think people get confused by, oh, that's a great logo. I love your brand, but brand isn't your logo. The brand is what your company stands for. Your brand is what, you know, what people say about you when you're not there to sell them. It's your culture. It's like, for instance, our brand is we have an amazing logo, and that was developed like in 1998, believe it or not. But our brand is, we're known for saying yes to our clients and then getting out in the car and figuring out why and how. So we say yes, and in the meantime, our reputation has grown to be the kind of vendor that it turns into a partner. And so that's what you want to do is you want to create a value that your clients don't want to leave. You know, you want to be that person or that organization that when someone says, I don't know how to get this cleaning project done, you know, let's just call Sean.
Yeah.
You know, well, Sean does handle that. And that really
happens.
It's your reputation. It's your brand. You know, not a brand isn't the colors that you picked, although they are very nice. Your PMS colors, that's what they're called. But it's what you stand for and what you're known for and what you bring to the table. And, you know, we can go down the rabbit hole of, you know, my brand in 10 words, my brand in 40 words, my brand in 100 words. These are the things that you need. If you're at a cocktail party, someone says, what do you do? And you say, oh, I'm in cleaning. Oh, well, tell me about your client, your custom, you know, tell me about your company. And then you can, off the top of your head, be able to say to them in 10 words, this is what we do, you know? And I think that's important. And sometimes it takes time, but, you know. There's just, you know, brand. Everyone else will have a different view on brand, but we celebrate our 30th year in business in January. And have we had good years? Yes. Have we had down years? Yes. Do we love what we do still? Yes, we do. We love what we do every day. You know, because it's no longer, we're not selling anything. We're solving problems.
So, okay, off topic.
Yep.
And I may have asked you this in interview number one. So I go to your web.
Iced coffee, not beer. Just want to
iced coffee, yes. But did you know that on that cup, the various rings are actually measurements? Oh,
okay. No, I did not know that.
Yes, those are measurements that if you look it up, okay, so Wes gets pizza number one. Because Kenny said the first 3 pizza gets pizza. And Kenny, West lives in the Cincinnati area, so you're going to be driving a little bit. So yeah, on cups like that, those are measurements to measure if you're making a mixed drink or making, you know, rocket punch or whatever. Okay. Oh, and Sean McElvaney, here we go. Sean is somewhere in Canada. No, he's in New York. He's again, Kenny, right. Dry ice. Okay, so you're in Nashua, New Hampshire.
Yep.
Why Boston Impressions?
All right, so here's the quick story. When I started the company in 1991, it was called Total Print Solutions. We were a print broker. We learned, you know, we were outside salespeople in the print industry. So we would go down the street and get people to trust us with the print work that they were doing in their office, whether it be letterhead, envelopes, business forms, or their marketing collateral. And then the .com era hit, and I had a friend come to me and say, I'm trying to launch a .com company to sell inks and paper and printing plates to the industry. And so they needed about $10 million to get it off the ground. And they were able to raise about 2, so it never really got off the ground. But my as a partner was creating the brand. And when it didn't survive the company, I still own the URL. I still own the brand. They were based outside of Boston. And then in 1999, I sold Total Print Solutions to a conglomerate that was going around buying small agencies or small print brokers and small printers. And I went to work for them for about 10 months because then I realized
it was a lot of fun.
It was. I was the sales manager of about 8 guys, and then I realized that their ethics didn't match my ethics. They didn't pay their bills and stuff like that. So I exited after about a little less than a year, and then I had a 6-month non-compete. And then as soon as that was over, I relaunched and grabbed the brand that I already owned, and the rest is history.
Very cool. Because I'm like looking at your website today, and I'm like, I'm watching the video, and I'm like, okay, this isn't Boston. And then I like look more, and I'm like, oh yeah, he's in New Hampshire. Why on earth? So now I know.
Well, yeah, but we're a suburb of Boston. We're literally 35 miles from downtown, you know?
See, and that's what happens when you grow up in the Midwest, and then you live in a little bit of the South, and you really haven't been around the East. So now I understand. I had no idea you were that close to Boston.
Yeah, so where we are in Nashua, New Hampshire, right here, we are less than an hour from the ocean, less than about an hour to a world-class ski mountain, and 35, 40 minutes depending upon traffic to downtown Boston. So it's a perfect place.
That sounds like a great. You probably get a lot of snow though.
We have gotten some snow in the past. So far this year, we've been blessed only about 6 to 8 inches. But the blizzard of '78 is well known in this area for just having the entire region come to a screeching halt with feet of snow.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Well, it's 60 something in Louisville today, which is definitely warmer than normal, but I'm not fighting it. Okay, so web development. What exactly does that mean?
Oh, well, these days,
kind of broad.
Yeah, these days your website is your calling card. A lot of people, as you know, will do a lot of their research on your product or your company. 90-something% of the research of the product and company before they even give you a call. So what we do is we help small to large companies on a regular basis to tell their story via their website and have call to actions and build out real platforms and content on the web to help tell their story. So that's kind of what we do. And we have an amazing team, not only in here, in the office, not really in the office because no one comes to the office anymore, but on our team, our core team. But we have built a network of subcontractors that we trust with our lives and interact with on a daily basis. So really kind of employees that, depending upon the scale of the project, we bring in who we believe will be the best fit for it.
So what is the difference between a website and a landing page? Because I keep reading where everyone's like, oh, you need to have a landing page, but you need a website. Isn't a landing page part of a website? But I get the impression they're two different things.
Oh, they are part of this. They are web-based. So a lot of times if someone has an offer, like when Litvak Leadership starts its national dominance of you're going to have a book that you've finished writing. There'll be case studies. There'll be downloadable content. Well, that can all live on a landing page, which is hidden in the back end of your WordPress site. But you can send your email with a click here to buy, and it goes to a web-based page where you can either download content, buy something. You do it all the time. If you're ever going to a site that's not Amazon and you're going to buy something, I'll give you an example. Like our friend Kara at Kendrick Home, her Shimley line. If you're going there, you're going to a web-based landing page to make a purchase. So it's potatoes. It's the same thing.
So it's actually part of the website, but it's not a listed page.
Right. So like, for instance, we did a virtual commencement for a college recently, which I'm sure that I talked about to you in the past. We needed to get all of the students that had graduated to give us their size shirt, download a picture of themselves or a video call out. So we built a 1 or 2 page landing page for them to go and give us that content, right? And that landing page lived on the back end of my website.
Okay.
Boston Impressions. So it was www.bostonimpressions.com/virtual Keen virtual graduation. And so when they clicked that link, it didn't go to Keene State. It went to the back end of my WordPress site. Yep.
Because it was easier for you that way.
Gather all the information right there. And there are tools that made it easy for us just to download the video content, download all of the images, very, very easy. So
when you look at websites and revamping your websites, I mean, yeah. I've seen so many website styles. Are you a fan of the very long website where when you click on something, it like scrolls down, you know, all of a sudden it goes vroom.
Yep.
You know what I'm talking about? Or are you a fan of the flip to another page, and why?
Wow, that's a great question, Sean, because the scroll down long website, it's fairly new within the last several years. I like it myself because it keeps everyone. What you don't want is people to get lost. You don't want people to. You want people to be only a couple clicks away from where they need to be. You know, and a lot of websites that go from this page to that page, you go down a rabbit hole. And, you know, if you can, and it doesn't have to be your entire site that way, but if you have a navigation across the top of your website, and you have a pull down menu, you can make that whole pull down menu its own long page. And so when I go to About Us, it brings me here. When I go to the core team, it brings me down here. But it all lives on that same menu. So I'm a big fan of it. And there's so many templates and so many animated interactions these days. As I shared with you when you were thinking about building your own website, there are. Let's not reinvent the wheel. You know, why do that? You know, there are sites out there that'll show you all kinds of templates that are available for purchase. Then you take that template and then you make it your own. Yeah.
My generations. So with my website, which is going to be coming out, I think around the first of the year, maybe a little later, my Generation Z graphic designer, I gave her the task. I said, here is the list of websites that my good friend Tim Lord recommended. Go pick one that will speak to your generation, and we'll see if you can find one I like.
Yeah. Well, good.
Yeah,
it's good. It's good that you have helped that person through school, and she kind of owes you.
Well, you know, and I think when people are building things, they could get caught up in their own opinion, but if you want to have a broader range, you need to bring other generations in and not necessarily take exactly what they say 100%. Hey, Michelle. But at the same time, you know, do you really want what generation would see? I'm not a baby boomer. I missed it by 1 year, so I'm Generation X.
Okay.
So, you know, I mean, do you want Gen Xers looking at everything? If you want to be broad, you got to have various people from different generations. I'm sure the same thing exists in your industry.
Yes, we have the boomers in our build. Let's just talk about my company. We have the boomers. We have the millennials. Although I have a designer, Sophie, who is very talented. She's on the cusp of being a millennial, so we call her our elder millennial.
Okay.
So, but back to your point, I think that it's important when your developer / designer / daughter does this. She'll put it in a dev environment. Feel free to share it to people that you respect and trust before you launch it, because you want to make sure that you have a good representation of how other people view you. You know, if you think of yourself like this and you're really not like that, then if you put it out to people that you trust, they'll go, yeah, I like that, but I don't like that. And of course, it's ultimately your own decision. But you know, good feedback or what I call a mini focus group it doesn't hurt anybody unless you have an enormous ego. Then you know, don't worry about it. Just put out anything you want.
Yeah, you know, I've never been accused of not having an ego, but I have learned to put it in check over the years.
You've done very well. You've come a long way, Jedi.
So wait, you said when you build the website, you said it's going to be in what?
It's in a dev environment, a development environment. So like when when we build websites, we're not building them on the fly. What we do is we build them in we build them in a Photoshop, because we do a lot of WordPress. We build them in a Photoshop environment to show how we feel how it's gonna navigate and how it's gonna look. And then when we get the approval on that, including the content, then we move it to a dev environment where we're working on it as if it's a live site. And so you can go through your Chrome extension or through your Safari or whatever you use for a browser, and you can look at it as if it's a live site, and look at it on mobile. Look at it
before it actually goes live.
Exactly.
Wow.
And that's what I highly recommend.
Oh, graphic designer and I are talking this weekend. So, okay, we have gone 31 minutes. Isn't that rapid? So
it is. It's always good to talk to you, Sean. Always
good. So, Tim, final 2 minutes now.
Yep.
What do you want people to walk away with?
Oh, geez, Sean, I don't really know. It's been, I sent out an email blast yesterday from our company to our list, as well as our friends, kind of spoke to how I feel this year has gone. I feel bad for a lot of industries. The entertainment industries have friends that make their living as musicians, and their feet have been cut out from underneath them. I have friends that own restaurants. I have friends that have been really affected by this. But I'll tell you this: through this year, we've been really blessed, and I am grateful for how we've done. We'll be up a little over last year, and I think it's just a testament to you have to put yourself out there. You have to trust the people around you. Like I said before, it goes my clients, my employees, and then me. And I kept that in focus all year long. And I miss my team. We have a ball here in this office, and I've shown you pictures of the office. It's probably the most unique studio within 100 miles of here. But yet I've been here solo since March. Wow. Yeah. And I have, and one of my teammates, Pat, who might be watching, we've worked together for 25 years. And this is the longest that I've gone without really seeing her. So anyways, I'm rambling, but I think this, you just keep focus of what you do, trust in your process, and continue to keep your head down. I'll end it with this. I had a guru when I was in sales, early on, called me into his office one time, and he said, "Tim, don't tell people your problems." And he's like, because 75% of them aren't listening, and 25% of them don't care.
Yeah.
So keep your head down, surround yourself with great people, trust in your process, and just go out and kill it. It's like fishing. You got to cast. If you don't cast, you don't catch. You got to ask for the order. You got to keep going. You have no choice. What are your choices? So
there you go.
That's my preaching for the day.
Good word, Tim. All right, Tim, thank you so much for being my guest on this Friday. You have put the cherry on the Sunday of the week. You are awesome.
Number 1 and number 65. Thank you.
There you go. Number 1 and number 65 all together. That's Litvak Leadership Live, everyone. Be blessed. Have a great weekend.
Thanks.